All right, here we go. Let's go. Today's show.
They removed copper from swimming pools because they realized that copper was so antibacterial that it was completely purifying the water that the people were swimming in without all of the harmful effects of chlorine, which we also know is a $1 trillion industry. But also, when the copper was rested in the swimming pools, copper ions were being absorbed into the water, which held an electrical charge. Therefore, when people were swimming in these pools, their bodies were absorbing this charged water. And we are electrical beings. Therefore, the water that they were swimming in and bathing in was instantaneously healing their bodies. And so if we then think about copper pipes, which are being completely erased, it then makes perfect sense because the elites realize that when water flows through copper pipes, that water then becomes charged water, creating some of the most powerful water in the world, purifying it to a level no other material can match. And this is another reason why farmers would place copper in their livestock's water bowls, because they knew that the copper would keep the water completely pure and charge the water. That's why
the DOJ has announced that Fauci's former senior advisor, David Morenz, has pleaded guilty to conspiracy to defraud the United States.
Morenz was a key figure in burying some of those files related to the Wuhan lab research, and just some of the stuff they found is pretty extraordinary.
Once you open Pandora's box, now there are going to be questions around, wait, how far does this go?
We've received work-related communications on that Gmail account from David Morenz.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline. I can tell you one thing. If you look at our construction jobs right now, because we're building more plants, factories, things that really have something to do with the AI, but also car factories, car plants, they're moving into our country. Honda just announced, Toyota just announced they're moving their operations from Mexico, from Canada, from other places. We, by the way, probably have a deal with Canada. You probably saw that. Very major tariffs were going on to Canada today. We delayed it for 3 days because I think we have a deal with the Prime Minister, and good deal for everybody. So that's good. But the construction jobs are enormous. We're building the biggest plants anywhere in the world. And I can say if I were the mayor of a town or the governor of a state and I had a chance to get a big plant in, an AI plant or a data center, I would absolutely want it because the jobs are enormous and the money paid, the taxes paid are just enormous. And if you don't take it, you're going to be left behind because there are plenty of places that want it. So I would say that maybe it can use a little public relations help. But if I were a governor or mayor, I would want that plant in my community. And many of them are designed in a very beautiful way. It's really very positive. Okay.
One nation under fraud. Completely visible. With lying and spying for all. The Kate Daly Show starts now.
Okay, well, I'll just give my awkward pause, awkward silence moment for a moment. They really are beautiful. Just accept the data centers and just accept your enslavement. I mean, come on, like, just stop fighting it, right? Stop fighting cameras, stop fighting the NSA, stop fighting anything. Just go for it and just love it, love the money. Okay. I don't, all I can say, well, go ahead, Melissa.
Not even truthful. I don't think they're going to be this big cash cow for local communities that they are promising. I think they're going to say in the end, oh yeah, well, sorry, that didn't work.
Well, they're a complete and total abuse. That's a word, putting it lightly, of our constitutional, what's supposed to be protected by government rights from God, to have privacy and to have not our data taken and stored and used against us. So I just, it's amazing to me that it's being sold to us and marketed to us. And of course, they're utilizing money. It's more money for you. Yeah. It doesn't mean more money for you, really. And it's also, I really question data centers as a whole because they store the data now without having a center in every single major city, or not just major, but any city in America. They're storing it now. So what are they really going to be used for? And I think it's a huge bait and switch. So I've got Melissa on with me. There's a couple of things I just want to mention about that clip that you were listening to coming in. So number one, the copper pipes in swimming pools, and how they disinfect water, and how they knew this centuries back. I mean, this was something very, very well known. And of course, just like depleting copper in our food supply starting in the 30s and 40s for a reason, we are now depleted in copper. They tell us copper's dangerous. Woo! And the copper in our pipes is going away, right? And being replaced, and copper in our swimming pools being replaced when we're dousing ourselves in chlorine. So it's kind of amazing the brain warp that's been happening. And Melissa's going to talk about brain warp today with a book that I have to give her props, man. She read this one fast. This was awesome. I mean, she did good. And we'll get to that in just a second. There's a couple of things I want to mention. So number one, I have to give props where props is due. Okay. So I'll tell you something about myself. So about the last 5 years, I've done blood work each summer to kind of see where I'm at. Okay. So there's no surprises. All right. So I did my blood work last June and 2025. And then I started taking Cardio Miracle it was like the August or September. I can't remember which month. Anyways, so I started taking 2 doses a day. Well, for 5 years, my blood work came back with always like red flags in certain areas. Okay. And it was always like, seriously, again? Okay. I just went and did blood work. Okay. A little later than June, but I just did blood work again. And my results for the first time in 5 years came back. Everything's good. Everything's great. And I'm like in shock, waiting for all the red flags. And I'm like, what? This is insane. Because this is the only thing I changed. This right here, Cardio Miracle. Okay. This is the only thing I changed. Wow. So does it work? Yes. And I have blood work to prove it. My husband, same thing. His blood work came back great. We were both like, this is the only change we made. And we did it twice a day. So I do 2 scoops. And sometimes I split those 2 scoops up, but I'm just telling you, cardiomiracle.com/Kate could be. And the only reason I'm saying this is because it actually works. So there you go. There's the secret: fruits and veggies and delivery system into your cardio system and your lymph system, and getting everything cleaned out. So I think it's kind of amazing. And I just wanted to share that with you because I was in shock, and first time in 5 years. So who knew? I also wanted to say that Moreno, whatever his name is, the ex-Fauci advisor scapegoat, pleads guilty to plotting to conceal, not conceal. Okay, they're not telling you he's concealing, okay, and they're pulling this guy out of the woodwork, right, to pay the crime for Fauci, right? But plotting to conceal COVID-19 research records during the pandemic. There was no pandemic, but they keep telling you there was. The shots were the pandemic, if you will. The 2020 thing never. COVID-19 was just a name applied to everything. But that's my view. But of course, Fauci not charged in this case, even though the messages were to him, the texts were to him, the things were to him. But of course, like we said before, it's not going to end up in a court of law. It's only going to be in a court of testimony with the Senate, with with all of this. Now, Moreno could get 5 years in prison. Wow, a whole 5 years, which he won't do. But it's absolutely asinine because honestly, he's a scapegoat and we all know it. And then, of course, the data center comment, we just commented on that, but I just wanted to say the data center thing is insane. I do not think it's going to be used for data. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay, because they're utilizing it as an excuse for higher and hiked energy. Okay, so the New American did a piece on food crisis coming. Is there a food crisis coming for 2027? And there was a June news report in Fertilizer Daily that said 7 in 10 U.S. farmers could not afford all the fertilizer they needed for the 2026 crop. So 7 out of 10 couldn't afford the fertilizer, okay, causing some problems, right? So this is what they blamed it on, okay? Fertilizer, the restricted flow, this is the wording of the restricted flow of the Strait of Hormuz caused by a war of choice on the part of the United States. Remember how I said they were going to demonize us and Israel together? That was kind of like the master plan that happens. And this is why journalists can talk about Israel now, because they're going to start demonizing us. We weren't allowed to talk about Israel. Now we are. Kind of suspect, right? And so it's the restricted flow through the Strait of Hormuz, even though we get the smallest percentage of oil through there. So ridiculous that they're blaming it on there. Blaming it on this, but they are. And I told you it was going to be used as, from day one, I go, this will be used as a scapegoat for higher energy prices and the higher price of food and everything else. Nothing will come down because they're going to blame it on Iran. And then they said fertilizer prices in the United States spiked over 56% over 8 weeks. Right after Donald Trump launched the war in February. Remember how I said it was a huge scapegoat lie? And then prices, eventually slightly eased, but they won't be. So I'm just telling you that, again, nailed it back when we first did this with Iran. I said it will continue to linger. It will not go away. It will not be resolved because they have to have an ongoing reason. This is kind of like Russiagate. They had to have an ongoing reason as to why we couldn't do anything with all the power we had in the White House, okay, as conservatives. So we're being told lie after lie after lie, and now we're being told lie after lie after lie again, that it's the Strait of Hormuz. We can't really identify why we did this with Iran, but we did, and you're just going to have to buy it and go get a data center. There's lots of money in it, and just be chill, blame everything on Iran. And I'm like, we've been doing that since the late 70s. So I don't know what else to say other than they're really literally telling you that we're being lied to, and people still don't want to believe it. So there you go. Melissa, any comment on any of that?
I think everything you've just talked about, it will be very interesting as our conversation today unfolds.
Yeah.
Because I see, after having read what I just read, I just see the playbook so much clearer.
Well, let's get into it, because you guys, the hardest thing I think for people is that we're not getting saved. I think that's number one. And number two, it's the brainwashing of telling us, here's the reasons that you can't make it on one paycheck, and that paycheck isn't going to quite do it, and that this is why you're struggling. And we know we promised that we were going to save you, but we're not, because we can't, because it's blamed on this or it's blamed on that. And it's like the season of the scapegoat. Instead of the season of the witch, can we do a song called Season of the Scapegoat? Because that's all I'm seeing everywhere. It's always a scapegoat. David Moreno's scapegoat, and Iran's scapegoat. Everything's a scapegoat. China's scapegoat for COVID. Everything's a scapegoat, so you don't look at the actual thing. And I just am sick and tired of it. So let's talk about biology. Very interesting read. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's a book.
Okay.
It's Biology, BUY. Biology, and it's about the science of why we buy what we buy,
and we all buy stuff, so I can't wait.
And if you kind of extrapolate out, this isn't just about the stuff we buy, it's also about all the things we buy. Like when Trump says, AI data centers are going to be so great for us, why do we buy that? Yeah. And why do we fall? Now he's talking this, the guy that wrote it, Martin Lindstrom, is a marketing guy, and he is interested in this stuff. But the principles are true for everything, even when, let's start with this. This is where he starts the book. Those little warnings that are on cigarette packages?
Yes.
Are they really effective in persuading anybody not to smoke?
No, of course not. No, because this is why. Okay, Russians. Go ahead. Go ahead. I was going to go off on a tangent. Go ahead.
Well, well, the fact of the matter is, globally, there's more people smoking now than ever before.
Mm-hmm.
And almost every country has one of those warnings on their cigarettes. So this guy, Martin Lindstrom, he is a neurobiologist, and he has coined the phrase neuromarketing.
Okay.
So he started out by saying they did a test run on people who smoked. And they showed them those little warnings. They showed them advertisements. He said some of them are very, in his mind, he thought they were very effective. They were very effective arguments like, don't smoke because this is what happens to you. And then they did a conventional like focus group test market survey kind of thing with people who were smokers.
Okay.
Is this persuasive? Does it persuade you? You know, have you smoked less because of these warnings? And all the people who are smoking said yes. All right. Then they hooked them up, and I can't remember. They were using two different types. He did this multi-year, multi-million-dollar survey on all this different marketing stuff. And I don't remember whether it was an fMRI, which is functional MRI, or whether it was the little caps they put on you that record your brain waves. I don't remember which one it was. But then they actually put those, I think that was an MRI, and they showed people these same images.
Okay.
And then they measured what was happening in their brain. And what they found out, this is horrible, is that when people were shown these ads about anti-smoking ads, it actually induced their desire to smoke more.
I believe it. I believe it. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh.
Just seeing the warning label on the cigarette box made them want to smoke.
You know what's interesting about what you're saying too is people aren't ever really going to get the truth. So the label isn't about the truth, because the truth is when people in Russia roll their cigarettes, right? They're not adding a ton of chemicals to it, and they don't have lung cancer through the roof for that reason. Okay. What we did in the United States was add over 100 chemicals to the cigarette, and it was the chemicals that were causing the cancer, not really essentially the tobacco. Think about it. It was smoked for centuries and centuries and centuries. Okay, the Navajo nations did not have lung cancer going through the roof. Okay, and it wasn't until we got all the chemicals. So it's kind of, but they made nicotine the bad guy, and they never talk about the chemicals. So even in the label itself, okay, there's no truth to be found, because what they're saying there's some truth to be found, right? So this is dangerous, but they don't tell you why. They don't tell you it's because we added all this stuff. I'm going to be trying to be nice. We added all this, and then we're not going to tell you we added it, but we're just going to tell you on its own, it's just super dangerous. And I just laugh because everything is so like contorted and insane, the way that we take in stuff. But on top of that, I actually do believe that the label actually caused more people to almost just be defiant against it and do it anyway. And I mean, that's insane. I believe that though, because I mean, of course it would, right? I don't know.
And I think that actually was one of the very first studies that he did. And it led them down all kinds of different avenues to look at why we buy what we buy, what is happening. Not what we say are the reasons, but what are the actual brain-based reasons that we are choosing what we choose.
You know, on YouTube, Aaron calls this Wallet Witchcraft Wednesday. So I have to give it a...
Say that again?
Wallet Witchcraft Wednesday. I agree. That's exactly what we're talking about. So why do we buy what we buy, Melissa?
Well, there's a lot of reasons.
Okay.
There's a lot of reasons, and he steps through a lot of them. One of the things, we'll start with this. Do you remember when American Idol first began?
Yes.
Go back in your mind.
I do.
We were all
sadly.
watching it. We can all admit that we were all watching American Idol when it first started.
Simon Cowell.
And do you remember any product placement in the in the show?
I don't remember it, but I'm going to think that there was, right?
Of course there was.
Of course there was.
There were 3 companies that stepped up as Fremantle, the company that brought American Idol to the United States.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted 3 corporate sponsors that would step up and fund it.
Okay.
So one of them was Coke.
Okay.
One of them was Singular Wireless, and the third one was Ford.
Okay.
And so each one of those groups had to market differently on the show. What Coke did, well, let's talk about what Ford did first.
This is on American Idol when it first started.
This is on American Idol when it first started. And
Okay.
this should wake us all up to product placement all over. We know that that's happening, right? We go to the movies and we see product placement in our movies, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And we're pretty savvy when we see it.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't understand perhaps why one thing works more than another. So Ford, they just had car ads that they were running at the regular commercial time.
Okay.
Singular Wireless stepped up and said, you can text for free. You remember when we're going to vote on the people that go through to the next round?
Yeah.
They said, if you use our wireless system, that text is free. Okay.
Okay.
Coke being the most subtle, every judge had a branded Coke cup sitting in front of them.
Mm-hmm.
And the contestants, whether you realized it or not, when they walked into an audition or out of an audition, they were walking through a space that was painted Coke red.
Oh, yeah. Oh, weird. Yeah, I didn't even, I did. That was subtle. I didn't notice that.
And so we all saw that they had these Coke cups.
Mm-hmm.
But every time a judge picked up a cup and sipped it and made a comment to a contestant, in our minds, it's making a connection between the experience that's happening that we're participating in kind of vicariously. Look, these are people who have great dreams. They want to be famous and they want to fulfill their dream to be the next great singer. And Coke. Of the 3, Coke is the big winner on American Idol.
Really?
Because there's a part of us that really likes the most effective marketing comes from the association with an experience we have. Or and he goes on in the book to talk about something else called mirror neurons. We'll talk about that one in a minute. But when we can live a little vicariously,
right,
then we're affiliating of all of those. Probably Coke and Singular Wireless were the 2 most closely connected to the contestants themselves.
We like the show and then we like Coke, and we like Coke and then we like the show, and it's kind of
why do we like Coke? We like Coke because it's helping these people achieve their dreams.
Yeah.
That's why we like it.
Yes. Okay. Interesting.
That's a very subtle,
vicariously
very
through them
marketing
that way.
And it didn't work. Having the car ads on the show, same show, didn't work in the same way. People were just like, yeah, that's just a car ad. We don't care. And later on, for a while, I was kind of we liked American Idol at my house. Later on, they would show the contestants arriving at the studio in a Ford car.
That's right.
And even that was too little too late.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
But they also, the judges sat, and I don't remember this, and I can't even find a picture of it. They sat in a chair that was shaped in a very familiar Coke bottle shape on the back of the chair.
Okay, I don't remember that, but now I got to go look.
No, nobody remembers that. I can't even find a picture of
interesting.
that.
Okay. Huh. So they designed the pretty much the chairs to kind of reflect subtly. Interesting. Okay.
Okay. So his bottom line on that is being seen is not the same as being remembered.
Okay.
And effective marketing to all of us what is it that causes people to remember our marketing? You know, when we're being marketed to, we've become very jaded people. We're exposed to thousands of commercials a year. And how do you cut through the chatter? How do you cut through the noise of all those commercials?
Right.
And different people have taken different strategies to get there. So let's talk about mirror neurons, which was also this is kind of a revelation too. Very interesting stuff.
I always like psychology. I do. I like how the human brain works. I like psychology.
I'm fascinated by this.
Yeah,
I don't
too. even
consider this psychology. This is actually like
I am too. I just feel
neuroscience, if you will.
I don't know. We can learn a lot about why certain ads are shoved in our face 24/7 by Facebook and the spying that goes on, and just the why of everything. I like the why. So I like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what's surprising about the book here and the research that he was doing is that we think we know. We think we're very sophisticated, and we don't know.
Right.
we are as remote from the workings of our brain. We just don't get it. So let's talk about mirror neurons. So mirror neurons were discovered. A guy was working in a monkey lab, and he had an ice cream cone. And he would eat the ice cream cone, and every day there was a monkey that would come and watch him eat this ice cream cone.
Okay.
And they began to wonder, like, what is the monkey, what's happening in his brain? And what they discovered was that whether the monkey was actually eating an ice cream cone himself or watching someone else eat the ice cream, it fired off the same parts of the brain.
Really?
That's a mirror neuron. It's our tendency in our brain to mentally simulate or mirror, if you will, what we see other people doing.
Okay.
So now this is not in the book, but I'm going to ask a question. It's kind of a loaded question. When it was so very important for us to all wear masks, why was that? Why was that so critically important?
Because most everyone was doing it. I don't know. I don't know why. Who would be that stupid? But why?
Well, when we see someone else doing it, our brains say we want to do that too.
Ah, gotcha. Interesting.
It is kind of literally monkey see, monkey do.
That's so sad. Really and truly, it's like, do something completely dangerous and breathe in all your own crap and pass it off as, hey, I want to do that too because you're doing it. That is insane.
But think about all the trends that we have seen.
It's true.
That are generated simply because we see someone, and he goes on, this is kind of a nuanced thing, because they discovered that, like, you can't just hire a high profile personality to endorse your stuff.
Right.
That doesn't have quite the same effect. But if you can build enough momentum behind helping other people to kind of vicariously experience something, then they will be much more prone to select your thing that they're marketing.
Wasn't it a Stanford study? It was like some kind of study that they put a person in a room and everyone else was in on it but this person, and they told everyone to stand every time this bell went off or something happened, and so everybody would stand, and the person kept looking at everybody standing and then eventually joined in. So they would stand too, but they didn't know why they were standing. They were just doing it because the rest of the room was doing it.
That probably,
yeah.
I mean, I can't speak to whether that is the mirror neurons, but it certainly does have that.
Yeah.
The sense of that.
Yeah.
But it's even more remote than that. If we watch a commercial, for example, and it's showing how many times has it been late at night and a pizza ad comes on and you see this wonderful looking pizza and you see people biting into this pizza, true. And the next thing you're thinking is, gee, I think I'd like to have a pizza. Let's order one.
Well, I had to stop watching Food Network because I was literally making every recipe because I love to be in the kitchen, love to cook. And I was making every recipe. I was constantly ordering ingredients and I was just like it was just like the best suggestive, terrible influencer because all I wanted to do was cook and all I wanted to do was eat. And so I had to literally stop watching it years ago because I was just like, I'm that, it's easy to influence me through food, I guess. I don't know.
It is truly, we are sold experiences. And we're not, if they just came on with an ad for McDonald's and they said, here's what's in our burgers. We have so much ground beef, maybe. We have so much lettuce. We have these tomatoes. We have these kind of pickles. We have a bun.
Yeah.
That's never what you see in an ad. What you see is people having fun as a family at McDonald's.
Right.
Because you want to imagine your family at McDonald's having all that fun.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And if you think that politicians aren't wise to this, and you think that
the biggest creeps among us, yeah, I'm sure.
Well, that's why, we're sold so many pretty pictures.
Yeah.
And we're told if only you have that AI data center, you'll have so many jobs. You'll have so much.
Yeah,
good
they're so
stuff.
pretty too. I was like,
they're hideous.
What is Trump talking about?
We're not going to talk about environmental damage. We're not going to talk about any of that. We're not going to talk about the surveillance state.
Loss of constitutional privacy. Oh my gosh.
If you think about it, how is living constitutionally an image that you can sell easily to the public?
Yeah, you can't because people don't want to know anything about the Constitution. They literally don't, which is so sad to me.
Well, I think even if they did, I still think it would be a hard sell. Now,
don't you find it funny though that the data centers, when people, so we have a lot of paid groups out there, just remember that are mixed into this, and they're never pointing to the NSA part of it, the spying part of it. They're just mad because of the environmental stuff, which tells me they're pretty ignorant because they can't absorb the fact that they shouldn't be spying in the first place. Like, it doesn't matter if it's an environmental concern at the point where our rights are being demolished as we speak, so but do you see, Kate, selling people on the idea your rights are being trampled upon is a hard sell. That's not an experience any of us want or embrace. Yeah.
So we don't want to look at that. We don't want to look at that. We want to have, what we want to look at is, there'll be jobs from this.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
We want to look at the pretty picture because our mirror neurons want to look at that pretty picture. All right. So the next thing he takes on is subliminal advertising. Okay. Is subliminal advertising a thing of the past? You remember where that came from, right? Back in the 50s, some theater owner got this brilliant idea. He was showing a movie in his theater and he would flash these little micro flashes of buy more popcorn, buy a drink on the screen. And it was so fast that people couldn't actually see it, but just flash, 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 flash. And he claimed, the theater owner claimed that this increased the sales of popcorn and Coke in his theater.
Oh, I'm sure.
And there was a big hullabaloo about it. People got all angsty and said, "Oh, wait, this shouldn't be right. This feels like brainwashing. This feels creepy and suspicious." Did Congress ever do anything about it?
I'm going to guess no.
No, of course not.
Well, I mean,
they didn't.
Well, I don't know that they should be. But at the same time, I know we lean on them a lot to do things for us, but it's so amazing to me that that we learn all these things, but we don't do it for ourselves. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm looking here in the book. Actually and truly, if you think about subliminal advertising, we are surrounded by it all the time.
Right.
Now, I'm not a big, I never have been an Abercrombie and Fitch buyer. I don't think I've ever been in a store. I just thought it was silly. And that probably has something to do with my age. But The Abercrombie and Fitch marketing plan is interesting because they hired, outside of their flagship store in New York City, they hired models to stand on the sidewalk out in front of their store. That's all they were doing, just standing there talking, laughing. People well-dressed, good-looking, just standing around. And it got to the point where people in New York would just go and stand around on the sidewalk to kind of be part of the scene with them. Nobody knew that they were paid people. When you went into an Abercrombie and Fitch store, they deliberately had like the mannequins that they used. And I can't speak to this from firsthand observation, but the female mannequins were a little busty, and the male mannequins were very well endowed. And then
I'm
there
sure
was
they were.
Well,
I do.
We're
I'm not
speaking
shocked.
We're speaking publicly.
Yes.
Keep it G-rated here. And then they had a signature scent that they sprayed in the store. So that every time you went into the store, you would associate that aroma with Abercrombie and Fitch. Is that subliminal?
Wow. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
And
it would have to
so if you have maybe overspent at the store, you go in and you're just feeling like you're part of the hip in crowd because your mirror neurons are going crazy. You know, you're going to be just like these other amazing people. And then you're overwhelmed by that scent. That triggers the dopamine centers of your brain that make you feel so good. You've just, we have shopaholic people in the country. And when you associate that dopamine hit, you want that more and more of that. Your brain is programmed to like that feeling. So the next time you walk by the Abercrombie and Fitch store, and you could smell that aroma, and you see the mannequins, and you see the posters, the giant oversized posters of these good-looking people, these ripple-muscled guys. What is your brain going to do now?
Right.
Like, I want to go in there again. That was a good place. That was a great place. That's all subliminal.
Okay.
That is not a marketing strategy that plays to look at this great product we have and a great price that we're offering you. Look at the quality. It's none of that.
Okay.
It's all experience based. It's all like, you can be a part of us. You can affiliate yourself through subliminal messages.
Let's take a quick phone call. By the way, the call-in line is open. What is the number? 435. I'm in Utah. So 435-680-2503. And okay, go ahead, caller. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. One second. I need to switch something. I am so sorry. So sorry. We're so high tech here. Okay, go ahead, caller. Are you there? Oh, I actually might have hung up. Sorry. I know. I didn't mean to do that, actually. So call back. We'll wait. Yeah, it reminds me, all of this reminds me too of Eddie Bernays. Eddie Bernays, the master manipulator. The one
he was the first.
Oh, he was a master. Okay, go ahead, caller. Sorry about that.
Yes, two quick points on what you've been talking about. First of all, in the AI centers, you're absolutely right, Kate. It's all about spying on us, but it's about really the future violation of our rights. Of course, it's right of privacy is property right and so forth, but they're paving the way for totalitarianism. Anybody who knows really history, political history, knows that for a totalitarian system to be come into existence and sustain, they must surveil the people. They must ask you for your papers. And this AI is increasing that surveillance tremendously. They can measure who you're with, what you're talking about, what you're listening to, what you're just almost everything they need to stop anybody that resists tyranny.
You're right.
This totalitarianism. And the other point on the Constitution, you're absolutely right. It's not whether they have the power. They're absolutely no power to monitor popcorn and Coke and consumption and things like that.
Right.
Nobody should be talking about politics in America unless they understand the political philosophy our country is founded by. And the Constitution. The Constitution has very limited enumerated powers to the branches of the federal government. And unless you know what those are and know they have no power outside of those, we shouldn't be talking about politics, because you're not talking about liberty. You're not supporting liberty unless you understand they have these enumerated powers that are very limited. Most of them are
the people should
powers,
be,
and it certainly has nothing to do with popcorn and Coke.
Well, the people should be aware of what's happening to them, and they should be fighting that themselves, right? But we're at a state now where we rely on government to do it for us, and so that's the big trap. That's the big lie.
Yeah, and you said or I think it was Melissa, that it's difficult to sell the Constitution. It's not the Constitution you're selling. Constitution is a means. It's a tool for liberty.
Yes.
It's liberty that you're selling. It's tyranny of opposition that
I get that,
we're
and
selling.
you get that. But what she's talking about is the fact that our young people, they've been marketed the idea that the Constitution's old-fashioned and you can't understand it, even though it's written in plain English. So that the marketing has been against it.
You sell the Constitution. You sell what it's preventing. Totalitarianism, more tyranny, pain, suffering. That's what. That's one of the definitions of tyranny.
I'm with you.
Misery.
I'm with you. Thank you for the call. No, I'm totally with you. It's just that different conversation, because what you're talking about, Melissa, is the marketing of the Constitution has been, you don't want to know about that. That's dumb. We live in a different world today. And even though it's still there, we just can simply ignore it because it's old fashioned. So it's the marketing of it, right?
Well, I don't know. Let me defend myself here for a minute. Number one, we're very naive if we do not think we are being marketed all the time, 100% of our life.
Right.
In every direction.
Everything.
If you think that we can defend the Constitution without being very savvy about how to defend it, which is, in fact, a marketing proposition.
Right.
We will lose the war. And maybe we're losing it anyway. We've just I don't even know that it's the Constitution. We've made all of American history stupid and dumb and racist and bigoted. Why would you want to know any of that? Because, we're just so hip and cool and sophisticated. They're selling something different. Yeah. They're not talking about tyranny, because we're trying to sell people on the idea that you can be cool if you wear, Victoria's Secrets and you whatever, you drink Starbucks coffee. We have become an uber consumer society, including in all of the rest of it, in all of the soft stuff as well. And by soft, I mean not tangible.
Right.
So the ideas of liberty is the idea of liberty should be a great thing, but we're not smart about how we're marketing it.
Right.
We're not teaching people that to embrace liberty is an amazing, wonderful thing.
I think people out there, if you're saying to yourself, well, why do we have to market it? Because it was marketed against very subtly for over 100 years by the Carnegie and Ford Foundation to start with in 1907. And it became something that they were like Coke did it very subtly on American Idol in favor of Coke. It's been in favor of never learning about the Constitution. And that's why we have to figure out how to get young people to absorb the ideas of their own liberty again, just like we had to do as a precursor to the revolution. You had to first change hearts and minds to get people to understand that you didn't have to have a king and a queen over you. So we're in the same battle now as far as our youth, because they don't understand that they should be fighting for their own liberty. And so they're in the midst of this marketing tornado for stuff instead of fighting for liberty, because there's been an anti-liberty kind of messaging going on that you don't need that. That's old fashioned. You just need to buy stuff and you'll be happy. No, actually, liberty makes us happy, but people aren't going to get that message.
We've talked about this before. Look at the difference between the word equity and equality.
Yeah. Yeah.
And trust me when I tell you, I am absolutely fascinated by if you don't like the word marketing because that makes you feel like it's seedy or it's too business-like. This is the art of persuasion.
Yeah.
And how do you persuade anybody to do anything? And that's what Lindstrom is looking at, the non-conscious things. We tell ourselves one thing. We tell ourselves, oh, we're turned off by cigarettes because look, we know the bad things that will happen to us if we smoke, right? But when we see the cigarette package, why do we suddenly need to go out and smoke?
Right.
Now, I've never smoked in my life. That's not going to be a winning proposition for me.
Right.
But there are other things that are being sold to us that are very dangerous and very damaging, and we don't even know they're being sold to us.
That's so true.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that movie with the glasses. What movie was that? Remember that has the special glasses that show him the truth about how we're being marketed to with all the signage. What was the name of that movie?
I don't remember.
Yeah, the one wasn't it Kurt Russell's in it?
I don't know. Maybe I never saw that movie.
Yeah, where he wears the special glasses. Oh gosh. Okay.
Maybe a caller will know.
Yeah. Yeah. If you know that movie, I know everyone knows that movie anyway. So it's all the subliminal messaging going on.
Well, to return to subliminal messaging, I am old enough that I remember when cigarette advertising on television was banned.
Okay. And
I was distraught as a child because I really, really liked the Marlboro Man because he rode horses.
Who didn't, honey?
He was a manly man. Yeah. And I knew that even at like 6 years old. I was like, that is the guy.
Yeah.
And I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. It did not impact me to go smoke cigarettes. But when they forced cigarettes off of the conventional marketing spectrum, if we will, what does Marlboro sell now? They market collectibles, outdoor cowboy clothing, gloves, watches, caps, scarves, boots. They buy advertising with, on NASCAR. They're trying, even though none of us have seen a Marlboro Man ad in however many years. It's been a long time. They're still selling subliminally. They're not there. When you buy a pair of jeans that's from Marlboro, there's nothing that says, go buy a pack of cigarettes now, you'll like it. They're selling something subliminally to you that look at our brand. Look what we represent. We represent the outdoors and rugged living and wonderful things. And RJ Reynolds is doing the same thing. They've become the biggest sponsor of car racing globally. Why is that?
Yeah.
How does that help cigarette sales? Are they just generous? Do they just do it because they like to? Or is there something that they're trying to affiliate in your mind between the cigarettes they sell and the kind of lifestyle you can have with if you're in their camp with them? Okay.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. They Live by John Carpenter. Thank you. I was like, I know this movie. And They Live by John Carpenter.
I knew that. I knew our listeners would come.
Yes, of course. You're amazing.
Okay.
Thank you, Bob.
Well, let's move on because more of this, the more you read, the more intriguing it gets.
Okay.
So in his study, he took a look at religion, of all things, and brand loyalty.
Okay.
And he's not making a statement about whether religion is good or bad, or this particular brand of religion or that particular brand of religion. But he's looking at what religion does, what function it serves, and is there brand marketing that does the same? I thought this was tremendously interesting. In a religion, every religion has a set of stories about themselves or what's important. Like in Christianity, it would be the Bible is a set of stories, the Quran, whatever. There are rituals associated with it. there is a community associated with it
Mm-hmm.
that builds a sense of belonging, and you have these kind of shared experiences.
Okay.
And he goes on to say, is that how we make certain buying decisions? And it made me think, in my household, I have only bought one brand of peanut butter for my entire married life.
Really? Okay.
We are very brand loyal, but if somebody to that particular brand of peanut butter,
Mm-hmm.
and if I think about it, why am I so loyal to that peanut butter?
I don't know.
One time
Mm-hmm.
I bought a different brand and it was really yucky. It
Okay.
separated and it was
Right.
oily and it didn't taste good,
I
whatever.
bought that too. I think everyone has
my
one of those
husband
jars.
said, let's go back to the other one.
Yeah.
And so I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I have never bought another brand since. That is called having a sense of like identity.
Mm-hmm.
Part of my identity, I'm not, this is not a really important part of my identity,
Mm-hmm.
but what kinds of things do we build identities around because we're a part of a community?
Mm.
And how are we marketed with that in mind? You remember, we're all in it together.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That was the most irritating. Remember, Walmart was all aboard. They're such a sellout. I would use every curse word in the book right now, but I just remember I did a shirt. I did a shirt with a play on words with that. And I was laughing because it was it was insane how it was like, we're all just all listen together. We're all together. And I'm going, you're just Walmart. Shut up, And it was this whole propaganda campaign to get us all involved with Blovid. Yeah, the scam.
But do you see how it was a very subtle way to build a sense of community?
Oh my gosh.
Focused around compliance with the directive.
Yes. And you remember how we mentioned Eddie Bernays?
Uh-huh.
Let me play this clip for you. Let me play this clip. It's only 1:30. Okay, here we go. This is Eddie Bernays, master manipulator, the one that got women smoking when it was taboo, the one who designed the mannequins in the window, like that whole scene, to get people to want to buy, and buying everything on credit. Okay, here we go. Eddie Bernays explaining why we all eat bacon and eggs for breakfast.
Many years ago, our client was the Beechnut Packing Company.
Beechnut Packing Company.
We made a research and found out that the American public ate very light breakfasts of coffee, maybe a roll, and orange juice. We went to our physician. We asked the physician, after telling him why we were talking to him, would he be willing, at no cost, to write to 5,000 physicians. We carried out a letter to 5,000 physicians. Obviously, all of them concurred that a heavy breakfast was better for the health of the American people than a light breakfast. That was publicized in the newspapers. Newspapers throughout the country had headlines saying 4,500 physicians urge heavy breakfast in order to improve health of American people. Many of them stated that bacon and eggs should be embodied with the breakfast, and as a result, the sale of bacon went up. And I still have a letter from Bartlett Arkell, president of Beechnut Packing Company, telling me so.
Wow. So right from the horse's mouth, Eddie Bernays, whose uncle was Sigmund Freud, who was sold to us as the psychotherapist BS artist of the century, delivers this message that all they had to do was get a hold of doctors and scientists to tell us that eggs and bacon were better for us and more healthy for us because we used to eat light breakfast. People used to eat maybe little oats, maybe a little roll, maybe a little juice, and no, now we got into this heavy breakfast, and that's why everyone in America eats this huge, ginormous, like bacon and eggs breakfast added with pancakes, right? The great American breakfast. Isn't that nuts? Right from the horse's mouth, telling us how he defrauded people, how he lied to us.
Yeah. No kidding.
Amazing.
Although I have to say, I do like eggs and bacon.
Hey, doesn't everybody? We've grown up on it because we were lied to.
Well, if we can create that sense of community, and I want you to think about how, like the MAGA marketing or whatever, all those little, you know, I'm a MAGA person, and what that means, what that really means. Does that have any substantial meaning?
No, the woke just hurl it at people just to stop a conversation they can't engage in because they're ignorant.
Or I hate MAGA. I hate that.
Yeah.
Or I'm an Apple person. I don't like Samsung.
Yeah.
Whatever. And we all understand. Like with Apple and Samsung, you get used to the phone that you have, and then you don't want to switch because it's hard to learn a new system.
Right.
Whatever.
Right.
But when it becomes part of your identity, that's kind of an interesting thing. And we've talked about this before too. We have a system now where we have branded political parties. If you're Republican, it's this. If you're Democrat, that. But if you take the branding off and just look at them, you see something very different.
That is true.
You see the uniparty. It's what you see.
Yes. I completely agree with you on that. Yeah. They we see what we're shown to see. So yeah.
So another thing that is part of this whole mix is that people we're kind of superstitious people. We like our rituals. We like things to be, because things feel uncertain sometimes. We want to have a ritual, especially when we're afraid. We want something that will make us feel like we're back in control again. How many times, oh my gosh, my husband will, he's a Yankee baseball lover, and they're losing. I gotta turn the game off because they always lose when I'm watching. And I'm like, I don't think you have anything to do with it. But I do it too. I mean, I do it in my own way. You know, if I go down that road, you know, that's all I'm going to be in. That's always bad things happen to me. Or I don't want to wear that shirt anymore after a bad thing happened to me. I just did that. Yeah. I just took a shirt out of my closet because something unpleasant happened while I was wearing it, and I don't want to think about it ever again. That's very funny. Superstitious, right?
Do you remember it was like a Dateline, it was like years ago, and they did a show where they showcased the fact that most all of us, you were talking about peanut butter earlier, most all of us have universally the same products in our refrigerators and in our cupboards. And they were shocked by that because they didn't think that we would be so uniform in what we bought across America. But you could go to any pantry, you could go to anything and find basically the same 10 food items in the same brands, is what they were pointing out. And I was laughing at that, going, that's really kind of crazy that we are so adapted to habit and to what other people buy and to what we think is popular. I mean, it is interesting, the human behavior in that way, for sure.
And some of the reason for that has to do with the success or the failure of their marketing.
Yep.
If they can convince you, choosy mothers choose what?
Yeah. Jif.
Well, do you want to not be a choosy mother?
It's so true.
What does that make you?
It's so true. What did Mikey like? Wasn't it like Life cereal?
Life cereal.
That's what Mikey likes. Yeah, all the ads.
So I want my kids to like cereal, so I'm going to give them the cereal that kid likes, because then they'll like it.
Remember G, your hair smells terrific shampoo? Oh my gosh, all the marketing. You just go back year after year after year. It's just so, and I just dated myself. You're welcome. But oh my gosh, so crazy.
I'm riding in that same boat with you because I remember it.
Yep. Gee, your hair smells terrific.
If you think, if creating ritual, again, let me use this example because it's so powerful. If we create a ritual, we've talked about this. Why is it that some people are still wearing masks out there right now?
they're lunatic. I don't. They're
because they've bought the ritual.
You're right. You're right.
It's now become it's become almost a religion to them. They've invested some piece of their identity in that. And now it's kind of superstitious. They were told we were all in it together, and we're still in it together.
You know
and
what?
We're going to go down in this ship.
You know what kind of cracks me up about it too? This is what I've just noticed. So this is what I've noticed about it, is that it started out as we wear this as a health concern. And then it turned into, I'm going to pat myself on the back now because I'm amazing. I'm an amazing human that cares for others. And if you don't wear a mask, you don't care about people. But if you do, you care about others. It just became like, first of all, for yourself so that you didn't get sick. And then it became and turned into something it absolutely is not. But people bought the fact that it made them better. It's kind of like it's probably the same people that dye their hair pink. No, I'm just kidding. But it's the same people who basically go, I'm going to pat myself on the back if I like it when the government takes money from all of you, even though they shouldn't, but I think it should go to the government to help people. So I'm helping people. Like it's a inferred, like, see me, I'm doing great as a human because I am all in favor of stealing money from everybody to just go help people, but it's not. But that's the same kind of thinking to me. So that's how the mask became. It was like, I'm a superior human. I care more about everybody than you do. Yeah.
I want you to think about this very carefully.
What?
Was that an organic thing, or was that a marketing strategy?
Marketing strategy. Yeah. Because
it was totally marketing.
Yep. It's kind of like the vaccine people who are totally into a shot as your immune system. And then they go, my shot up child can't be in a room with somebody that's not shot up. And I'm like, but the whole point of you getting shot up was that you think it helps you around those people. So why can't you be in the same room with them?
Well,
I mean,
here
it's illogical, but it was sold to us.
This is a really important point to make.
Okay.
I hope you're hearing this loud and clear. If I haven't said it already, we make so many of our decisions about what we believe and what we buy and all that based on emotion. It's not based on rational thought. It's all emotional driven.
Yep.
And so that takes us to our next thing. We all have these things called somatic markers in our life.
What's that?
And I grew up with parents that lived through the Great Depression.
So me too.
And so they did some funny things, right? They were very, if we left the lights on in a room, my dad would have 50 kinds of fits.
Us too.
Turn that light off. You weren't born in a barn.
Us too. Oh my gosh.
Close
I
the
go around
door.
shutting lights off at night. Okay, go ahead.
My dad was a saver of things. Oh, you might need that someday.
Right.
You might need that.
True.
And all of us that grew up under that regime, where, we like, oh, why can't we spend the extra money? My dad was very conservative with his money because you just never knew when the banks were going to shut down. That was, and the somatic marker is a powerful emotional imprint that happens to you at some time or other. Think about the imprint that came on 9/11.
Okay.
That was a somatic marker. And how did it change our behavior, or how did it change the way we see the world?
Right.
What were we sold in the aftermath of that because of that marker right there?
Right.
COVID is another big somatic marker. What were we sold because of COVID? Because there was an emotional imprint on all of us when that happened.
Yes. And remember, the focus was all on, see how America feels. They all care about each other. We're all staying home and ruining our businesses and acting like freaking freakouts over germs because we care about each other. We love each other. I was like, no, I'm pretty certain that's all a lie because it's all built on a lie. It's kind of like the lie around 9/11. See, we all are together, and that's the most important thing. Don't look at who actually did 9/11. No, look at how our country came together. Everything's built on a lie, but it's like we're supposed to buy it as togetherness and love.
It takes our brain a while to catch up to the emotional imprint.
Yeah, you're right.
If it ever does. So let me give you this example. If you check, you're going on a vacation and you have to decide between two different hotels that you're going to stay in. One of them you stayed in the same branded hotel the last time you went on a vacation, and you had such a great time. They had a wonderful pool and you just did so many fun things. The other one is a similar hotel in every respect. The rooms are similar, the price is similar, but that hotel you stayed at a business trip that went sideways and you had a miserable time.
Yeah.
Which hotel are you going to pick to go to the next time?
Not that one. Yeah.
You're not going to pick the one where you had the miserable experience, even though it's comparable, even though it's the same, even though in some ways it might even be better.
We associate emotions for sure.
Right.
For sure.
And then we once we make the decision, we have a tendency to stay there. Once the imprint, once the somatic marker is laid, we have a tendency to return to that. We don't just remember experiences, we attach feelings to them, and then those feelings affect our choices.
Yep. That is the truth.
And it's almost, like I said, we've talked about this forever. Why do people still continue? Like, why are they still going back and getting, booster shots? At this point, people should be asking questions. But is it because during that somatic imprint time, they felt so good about what they were doing, and the line that they were sold made them feel so good that every time they go get a booster, they continue to feel good about it.
Right. Look at me. I'm getting healthy. I'm like, ooh. No, but yeah, that's about the size of it. You're right. And then they go in because of fear, because these are the people in America that completely buy into the shot and the vial are saving you. So of course the shot and the vial are going to save you. So they go in to get saved. Yeah. It's sick, but
well, kind of there's two more things to talk about. One of them is how our senses are impacted by all of this. We tend to buy things more readily if when we touch them, they feel a certain way to us. If I touch that fabric in the store and I think it feels luxurious, I'm much more likely to buy it, especially if I think I've got a good price on it. Why do they put, like, I don't know if do you have Auntie Annie's out where you are?
Annie's Foods?
Auntie Annie's. It's a place that sells these little pretzel-y things.
Yeah.
And they put them in a big supermarket here right as you walk in the door.
So you smell that? It's like the popcorn at a movie theater.
How many of us have been told if you want to sell your house, bake a loaf of bread before you
or cookies
have the open house?
True.
Or cookies. Why is that?
Yeah. Associate being home. Yeah.
Put the pretzel people right at the front of the store.
Of course.
Because they know that if you smell the smell of those pretzels cooking, or the people walking through your house, if they smell bread, they're going to have certain feelings about your house because of that. They've actually tracked it, and people buy more at the grocery store when the pretzel place when the aroma fills up.
Oh, I'm sure. Activates all that hunger. You're feeling, I never shop hungry anymore. Yeah, that's true.
I learned this. This is a fascinating thing.
Okay.
You know that new car smell?
Yeah.
It comes from a can. They spray new cars with that.
Interesting.
Why do they do that? What's the feeling we get? What are they trying to induce in us?
Right.
When you go on the test drive and you smell that new car smell?
Because your car don't smell like that. That's why.
No.
You want it to smell like the new car. Yeah, it's so true. Your car smells like McDonald's. No, it's so true though, because it's like trying on new clothes and getting back into your old ones. Ugh, who wants that? But yes, I agree with you. I agree with you on that one for sure.
So at the end of the road here, what does the future hold for us? And
well, we aren't the brightest people in the world, so.
Well, Lindstrom is suggesting that we are going to have more neuromarketing than ever.
Right.
And what and I think the new game in town, for those that haven't heard about it, Tennessee Consumer Protection Agency is suing Meta for deceptive practices.
The whole company is deceptive.
Is that
yes.
Meta has used unfair, this is about Instagram, that Meta uses unfair practices knowingly designed to addict people, and including children. And they have not told the truth. They've misled parents about safety and mental health risks in using Instagram.
Right.
So here's the problem, and this is a marketing thing. How are social media platforms marketed in a completely new and unique way? And we're going to see more of this. So in the past, they did focus groups, or even if you look at what he's talking about in his book from 2008. But the advent of AI and social and the algorithm means that now the algorithm is constantly watching you. It's watching what you look at. What do you pause on? What little reels do you play? What do you scroll past? And it's going to feed you more of the thing that it thinks you want.
Yep.
More and more and more. And it does that for children as well. And there's a great deal of concern about what this does to kids.
And there should be.
And parents, by the way, don't have any way to patrol what the algorithm feeds their kids in their suggestions.
Yeah.
Even with parental controls. There's no way actually, or there's no present way for parents to do that. Now, there's some people, there's a woman named Annika Buffon who just testified. This trial, the Tennessee versus Meta, is ongoing right now. It's happening right now. And they brought her in. She used to work for Meta, and she was testifying about the kind of cross interest of the social media platforms. Number one, their greatest interest is to promote engagement. And they know that they get greater engagement if they give you more of what the algorithm thinks you want to see. But she said that is not always safe. And it is not necessarily a good thing, especially for children. And she says they have ways that they could manage that, but they don't want to. Because if, for example, Meta did that, then it would open the door for their competitors to fill in the void.
Right.
So she said there's a conflict between what they want. But there's this endless loop where you see something, you pause on it, the AI takes note of that, it gives you more of that, and it's just so, and then it's going to see, did you pause on that one? And it's in this ongoing loop. I just had to turn some stuff off on Facebook because it was literally making me depressed. And I was like, why do I
There's a reason for that.
And,
have you noticed how it's changed?
Pardon?
Have you noticed how it's changed since 2023? That they have all these pages hurled at you. You don't really see your friends anymore, or the content of your friends.
Right.
It's just influencers that are sort of like not famous, but out there putting up videos. And they've now flooded your feed with these really weird people that you never asked to see. And that's your feed now. So yeah. It's kind of crazy how it's changed. I don't know if people realize that. When you used to jump on Facebook back in, like, say, 2015 and 16, all you saw were your friends. And then they just started using fake influencers to send AI content to you as real, and then also to influence and tell you things that you want to hear, but then twist them. So Facebook, or the government, I should say, I wonder if the Meta employees realize they're working for the government. Do you think they have figured that one out yet? Government doesn't like any competitors. So
hard to say.
Anyway, yeah,
well,
it's crazy how it's changed.
Yeah, I think the coming marketing strategies, I think we're going to see more of this brain-based stuff. I guess there was a perfume company. I'm trying to think. I think it was, J'adore. Do you know who does that? It's Christian Dior, I think. It was a perfume, and perfumes are notoriously difficult to launch a new perfume for people. And they did a whole bunch of brain-based studies about the colors they should use in their advertising campaign, who their principal targets were, how to market it. And they put people in the fMRIs and they put them on the caps that read your brain waves. They will not tell anybody what they found out. They said that's their proprietary information. But that was the most successful launch ever of a perfume. And it has been a strong performer ever since then because they took heed of what the brain-based advertising advice was. So we're going to see more of this. We're going to see more individualized content, just like on social media, where what we see is governed by what we've looked at longer or paused over. Even if you look at things happening in grocery stores, I get coupons now based on my individual shopping habits. So it's going to be more of that.
Yes.
They're going to measure our attention. They're going to measure our emotional engagement. They're going to create more of these experiential type things. And we may or may not even be aware that it's happening.
Most won't. Most won't. They just won't be aware.
I think it would be very difficult to be aware.
Well, I mean,
because some of it is so subtle. It's just like the painting the audition rooms in Coke red.
I mean, in American Idol, yeah, you're right, to sell Coke, but I don't think anyone associated the red with Coke, but subliminally we did. But I mean, in a way, right? We would have had to have. It's the same exact color, but yeah, you're right. Interesting. Yeah. And like they have some of the colors of fast food restaurants so that you won't sit and linger, you'll some colors are destined to make you feel hungrier, you order more food. I mean, it is really amazing what we've done with marketing and advertising, and not in a great way, obviously, but most people don't realize all the subtleties,
Well, here are my big takeaways. Emotion will always beat logic. And whether, like
Sadly,
I said, whether we're talking about politics, whether we're talking about social, anything, whatever, emotion is always going to beat logic.
Sadly.
Ritual is one of the things that creates loyalty.
Conformity.
Certain types of branding becomes part of our identity. And that's very difficult to change.
Yes, and events like the moon landing and our childhood have become one, right? So everything has like an emotional stamp to it as you're growing up through the decades, and so they've intentionally done that so that you don't question. I mean, the government's famous for this.
Marker.
Yeah, for sure.
Big somatic marker there.
The people that get the maddest at me, the most mad is maddest a word, most mad at me when I talk about the moon landing and how ridiculous it was that we actually believed we could hurl ourselves up there 287,000 miles in Reynolds wrap, was the people that lived through that, and it was tied to their childhood and teenagehood. If they were a child or a teenager during that time, they literally are like zombie-eyed at me. Like, how dare you question that? It's pretty amazing. That stamp, that moment for them is their childhood. I mean, it's insane.
It was kind of my childhood.
Yeah.
Every now and then I return to, I wonder what my parents did with my Saturn V rocket that I built.
Well, my dad went across the country hiring for NASA.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he believed that even though he wasn't obviously in the fake part of the moon landing, there was a whole industry built around it for a reason. And so the industry, that was real. It's just that the actual event didn't happen, but the industry was real. So I think it's hard to separate, because then you can't imagine that our government would take a ton of money and spend it on the industry surrounding the fake event. So that's how screwed we are in understanding propaganda, marketing, advertisement, how it's tied to our emotion, our childhood, who we are as people, our upbringing.
Right. And we're generally unaware.
Yes.
I want to leave everybody at the end of this with just one thing to contemplate.
Okay.
when does persuasion become manipulation?
Say that again.
When does persuasion become manipulation?
Ask our government.
There's a
Ask
huge
intelligence.
ethical question with
Yeah.
all of this.
When does persuasion become manipulation? It's such a great question. That is such a great question, Melissa, because that's when it borders into intention to deceive. And all you have to do is ask intelligence why they propped themselves up in 1947 and on, and were in charge of so much of what we're actually talking about. Because what did they concentrate the most on, more than the fake Cold War, was brainwashing. How to get through to the human psyche, what to do to influence us, persuade us, but then going into manipulating us. So it's pretty amazing to me to go back just to, like, say, the 1940s on, to see how different our lives have been since the creation of getting the brainwashing to the point where it was masterful beyond MK Ultra, just masterful at what it was able to do.
I don't personally, I think this is an extension of MK Ultra. I don't think MK Ultra was ever truly dissolved.
No, of course not. Yeah.
So this is just the commercial arm of MK Ultra.
Yeah.
This is how
that's a good way to put it.
Persuaded in ways that we don't even realize we're being persuaded to. And it has implication way beyond the brand of peanut butter that you buy. It has implication about, your health care. It has implication about what you feel about the future of the country and how we approach that. And if we don't believe, and if we're not aware that we are being marketed to on all of those issues, we're just going to fall into the trap. I mean, how many times have we talked, Kate, that people think that if you just elect the right guy, it's going to fix everything?
Oh my God, I'm so tired of that. I'm so tired of that. I can't take one more let's vote harder moment in America.
How different is that from, if you just buy this thing, you will have this great lifestyle.
Yeah, that's
if you just buy the right car.
Yeah.
If you just buy if you wear this perfume, you'll be one of the beautiful people. If you buy, the right purse, or wear the right shoes, or whatever it is, that you can fix all the problems in your life by just buying the right thing. And we're marketed in the same way.
We're being marketed to AI right now like crazy. We're being marketed to build AI, to influence AI, to actually be the miners of AI. We're being positioned to do that, and we're doing it, which is sad.
It's
using its services.
It's an endless loop. It's what do they call that? A Mobius strip.
Yeah.
That just loops back on itself all the time, because the more AI is out there, the more they know about us. And the more they know about us, the more they seek to know, so that they can influence us more. So like I said, the question is, when does persuasion become manipulation? We want you to live in a 15-minute city. How are we going to get them there?
Yeah.
Is that being marketed to us?
Well, data centers are being marketed today by President Trump as being beautiful and something that gives you money for your state.
They're horrible.
You should want them.
Like, take the blinkers off and actually look at what they are. They're not beautiful.
I was like, yeah, they're not. And they are an invasion of privacy, and people should be fighting it first and foremost as an invasion to privacy. And the government is supposed to protect your God-given constitutional rights, not ruin them and market them to you as the loss of them is pretty and profitable. So it's insanity is what it is.
I feel a little encouraged, because at least in my neck of the woods, people are not taking kindly to the flock cameras.
Yeah.
And there's big pushback.
Right.
The AI data centers, I think a lot of people have decided that they're so big and there's so much money behind them, we can't hardly fight them.
Yeah.
But flock cameras are accessible, and we can fight, and they are fighting.
And they're one facet. Always remember that. That's one facet of Not only those towers, those weird towers that were put in, and also the new street lamps that were put in all over America starting in 2020. The ones that are super high tech in all the big cities, like Las Vegas. I'm close to Las Vegas, so I noticed the cropping up of all of those cameras and intelligence factors inside the new apparatus that they put up, like in the middle of the highway, and everyone thinks they're lights, but they're actually not. I had a guest on for that. But what's amazing is that we've centered on flock cameras, but flock cameras are just one part of it. I was noticing a comment from a guy who said, my friend worked for, an hour away, 45 minutes away from where he lived, and his car got repossessed because the flock cameras picked up his car. He hadn't made his payments, and they went and found him and got his truck from him, even though, 15 years ago, you couldn't have done that, right? You wouldn't have been able to find him because it was a new job, but flock cameras picked it up. And so, yeah, it's part of it, but it's like one of the branches of the tree, and everyone's focusing on this one branch, but we're not going after the root of the tree. And just to let people know, no administration, I don't care. I'm a conservative, but conservative, liberal, whatever, whoever is king at the moment, whoever is presiding at the moment has never gotten rid of NSA spying. It's only gotten worse. So, and this has been over the course of the last 50 years. So just know that no presidency, I don't care what side of the aisle you're on, and if you're on a side, please question that, why you think we're going to get saved from that, because that is going to be at the root of all of our troubles, is this spying apparatus, the entire tree, right?
Well, just know that none of this will be used for our protection ever.
Oh, never. No one's after us to that point.
Let me just give you a casual example. I've been watching some of the kerfuffle happening with.
But they hate us for our rights, our freedom. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I've been watching the Charlie Kirk stuff. I find it fascinating that these flock cameras, no one has talked about a flock camera tracing someone who is theoretically responsible for this big assassination,
the patsy,
but they can't.
Tyler.
They don't know where he was.
Oh yeah
With flock cameras on all these corners, he's driving up and down the backbone of Utah and nobody caught him on a flock camera. How can that be?
It's so funny. I saw a meme this morning that said, when you're hunting, the government owns all the deers, but when you run into one with your car, suddenly they're not an owner.
Right, exactly.
It's the truth. So suddenly the flock camera didn't do anything, but it can do anything it wants to when it's trying to convict the average American of a crime. But it can't get the big assassination
and that's part
story
of the
to
point
stick.
of a flock camera.
Yeah.
Number one, we're the sheep. We're the flock.
Yes.
And number two, it is a tool that makes us all guilty all the time. We're all guilty of something all the time. And it's just up to them to decide whether you're worth pursuing or not.
Amen. Yeah, that's so true. That is so true. So
now,
never about our protection.
Convince people of that, we would have half the battle won.
Yeah, and if you could get them to go after the root of the tree instead of a particular branch. And I feel like it's easier for us mentally, and I get why we do it, to parcel out a branch and go after that, but it's the whole apparatus. And so if you're still into tribe mentality, think about this for just a moment. If with all the different presidencies that we've been presented with as they've been selected, every single one of them, tell me if they got rid of NSA spying at all, like in any way, shape, or form. Zero. Big fat zero. So that one of the big ticket items for the deep state is to keep that going and keep us into tribes and arguing, but we're never getting rid of the root of the tree. We're never going to slice that open and get rid of it and really do something about it, because every presidency is there to support it. And that's why they're selected as president, no matter what side. King Dingaling or Trump or Bush or Obama or whatever, they're all there to represent the idea that we're going to keep going on this, but we'll just never mention it. Right? So it won't ever be a point of contention between us, but abortion will, and all these other things will, but not that, because that's the Holy Grail. So yeah, without that, they can't do much to us.
Maybe I hope that this little conversation has made us think more carefully
Yeah.
about how we can be more persuasive.
Yeah.
Some of the things I think we're making big inroads and we're really not. Because the human brain is funny.
It is.
So
Well,
we need to be smarter. We need to
Yeah.
think more carefully about
think
how
about
we're
this.
selling the idea of freedom.
Yeah.
Yes, we do need to sell freedom because they're selling something else.
Oh, amen, Melissa. So think about this as our parting shot. So babies' diapers are called what? Pampers, Loves. What are adult diapers called? Depends. It's all in the marketing. Depends if you live or die. We don't really care.
Terrible. You're very wicked.
I am terrible. Anyways, you guys, thank you. And of course, thank you to Melissa. That was great. The book was Biology that she was talking about. And also I just wanted to say something else too. Be faithful, be fearless. I always say that. You can find out why on katedalleyradio.com. Also, please go get the ebooks. They explain in longer form what's going on. It's hard to kind of get to everything in every show. So that's a great way to be able to read and understand what's happening to us. Go to katetalks.myshopify.com. And also, when I talked in the very beginning about I got my blood work last summer. I get it every summer. And there's always red flags. Well, this summer there wasn't. And the only change I made over the course of the last year was doing Cardio Miracle twice a day. And all my numbers came back really great. And I've never had that happen in the last 5 or 6 years. So just saying, after 50, your body falls apart. But I'm just saying that is a really cool thing. And it was due to Cardio Miracle. So my husband's were the same. So can't be quinkadink. So anyways, thank you for listening. Really appreciate you guys. I'll be back tomorrow.